Good morning. I'm Junior from Here For You Life Coaching. So, what is a negativity bias? Okay, negativity sounds like something really bad. Is it a disease or no? No, it's not. So, a negativity bias is the general way that your brain operates. Okay, now it's noticing negative things or negative experiences or things in a negative light. Okay, first. Okay, that's what a bias is, right? You look at it and you go, okay, I'm biased towards the negativity or I'm biased towards the positivity, whatever it is. Okay, but negativity bias, right? When you look at a situation, when you look at, you know, let's say you look at a person, okay, instead of going, wow, what a great person he must be, right? You look at the person, you go, I wonder, like what's he up to? I wonder what this is all about. And you're skeptical, okay? It's because of your negativity bias. Now, this is not your fault, okay? Because if you think that, well, I see the world as negative, I see the world as, you know, like a bad place, and you think there's something wrong with you. No, it's actually built in this way, okay? This is an evolutionary thing that happened. Okay, human beings were built to identify threats. Okay, good morning, guys. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning. Hey, good morning. There you go. Okay, so it was built. You're built to identify threats, to protect yourself. Okay, and your children and your young. Okay, so this is totally normal. Now, this means that as human beings, we have to correct this. We have to change it. Why? Why is it so important that we change it? So that we can bring in positive things, so that we can start experiencing positive things in life. Okay? So that's why it's so important. Because if you allow your negativity bias to control your life or to run your life, because that's your default, okay, then you will always see things in the negative. You will always look for negativity because you're trying to survive internally. Okay? The ancient brain survived by scanning for threats, not blessings. Okay. Why is it important to look for blessings? Well, because if you get in the habit of looking for blessings, now you're seeking the good side. You're seeking the positivity. You're seeking the blessings. And guess what? You're going to find the blessings. Why? Because you're seeking it. Okay? Because of perception, because of your understanding of the world. Okay, so let's look at the subconscious tree. Okay, the roots of the tree are your subconscious beliefs, the things you believe to be true, your core beliefs. The trunk of the tree is your paradigm. Your paradigm is the way you see the world, your world outlook, or how you see things. The fruits of the tree up on top, those are your actions, which bring you results. So your paradigm, right? You always hear people say, well, you have to change your paradigm. Well, how do you do that? You work on the roots first, okay? So your beliefs, whatever you believe, starts to shape your worldview, the trunk of the tree. That dictates what you do. That dictates how you react to things, how you act upon things. And that's the fruits of the tree. And that will give you results. Okay, there's no such thing as hey, I Cooper, I see you. Good morning. There's no such thing as putting forth good actions and getting negative results. Okay, when you examine the intent behind your actions, you're always going to find that there was something questionable there that led to an undesirable result, so to speak. Okay, so if the result isn't good, something in the roots wasn't good. Okay, it goes down further than the paradigm. Now, anybody can change and do a good action, right? Anybody can do a good action and then get a positive result. Okay? But if you really want fundamental, long-lasting change, then what do? You change your beliefs, right? And that takes a while. That takes some repetition into the subconscious. That's all it does. Okay, that's all it is. It's just repetition. So as you repeat, the subconscious goes, oh, okay, that's what we're doing. And you're training your subconscious. And then pretty soon, right, it's automatic. Why? Because the subconscious starts repeating it. Okay, so everyone that comes into the world with negativity bias because they need to survive. At least that's the way the species is designed. That's the way humans are designed. So now, when you look at it, you go, okay, well, how do I do this? How do I switch over? Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. Okay, because this bias creates negativity. It creates anxiety. It creates overthinking. It creates self-criticism. Anything negative. Human beings are the only beings that can observe themselves. So when you observe yourself, what do you think you're going to look for? You think you're going to look for all the good things you did? No, you're going to look for all the bad things you did. You're going to look at you're observing yourself in real time. When you go home at the end of the day, you're going to be like, wow, I did this today, I did that today, I did this, I did that today, and all these things will be negative. Because you are hardwired, you are designed as a human being to survive. This is not a bad thing. It has nothing to do with the devil. It has nothing to do with anything other than the way the species was designed to survive. Okay? Imposter syndrome is another one. Okay? So I have people that are in management positions my clients are executive clients. And people in management positions have imposter syndrome. They get imposter syndrome. And it happens to me once in a while. Imposter syndrome is when you start questioning your own capabilities or your own qualifications. When you have, let's say, an uncontrolled amount of negativity bias, you start to react more on your emotions than your logic. Okay? Persistent negativity loops start to occur. What does that mean? Well, you're thinking negative about things, right? And it starts to go in a circle because your subconscious has taken this in and amplified it. Okay, how does that work? Well, let's say that you're unaware. Let's say you don't know that you're programmed for negativity to begin with. And let's say that you start seeing these things or whatever situations as negative. It starts going in your subconscious, and then your subconscious goes, oh, more negativity, because this is your understanding. And now you recognize these negative things. Your subconscious goes, oh, your focus is negativity. Okay. The reticular activating system in your brain starts filtering out the positive stuff. So now there's far less positive than there is negative. And your negativity bias has taken over. And now the subconscious is amplifying it. What does the superconscious do? So conscious, subconscious, superconscious. What does the superconscious or God do? God works off of whatever is in your subconscious. So now your subconscious is preoccupied with negativity. It's repeating the program. It's having you look at things that are negative. The reticular activating system in your brainstem is starting to point out negative things, or let's say filter out the positive. So now there's more negative than positive. Now you're off balance. Why? Because now you're focused more on negativity than positivity. That's a negativity loop. Most people that are negative, well, you see them and you go, wow, he's always in a bad mood. Or you see a girl, she's always like that. She's always complaining. She's always in a bad mood. The Debbie Downer thing, right? But when you see someone like that, what's really going on is they're stuck in a negativity loop and they don't know it. because they see it as normal. In their perception, this is normal for them. Why? Because it keeps happening. It's a subconscious program at this point, and it keeps playing out like that. Okay? And some people don't know how to get rid of it. So what do? They go to therapy. Does therapy help? Yeah, sure. It'll help. Does it solve it? Not always. Can you solve it like on your own? Sure you can. But first you have to understand what it is. If you don't understand the process, if you don't understand the why, then you won't be able to address it. You won't be able to fix it. So for an example, when I started writing affirmations in 2007, good morning, Jay. When I started writing affirmations in 2007, okay, I am so happy and grateful now that, and then fill in the blank. And I've been writing that since 2007. And at this point, it's, right, many years after. If it's two things I am, it's happy and grateful. Okay, so I'll show you what that looks like. Okay. So this is the one I'm working on now, right? It's only about that much. Sorry, I have cameras all over, so I'm looking in different directions. And then this is, okay, this looks crazy. I know, it looks crazy. These are affirmations, okay? And they all start out with, I am so happy and grateful now that. And we were talking about gratitude for a whole week because it was Thanksgiving, okay? And how, sorry, I have to reach down here. And how gratitude is the great multiplier. Rhonda Byrne says that. Rhonda Byrne says it's the great multiplier. But we were talking about the neuroscience connected with gratitude. So it's a real thing, okay? It changes your brain. It rewires your brain chemically, okay, with hormones. So now that we know that, right, we've gone over a whole week of that stuff, right, the neuroscience. Once you understand the neuroscience, you go, oh, there's more to it than this, right? So I've been writing, I am so happy and grateful. And if it's two things that I know for sure, out of all the things I've manifested, out of all the things I've accomplished, out of all the things I've written for, if it's the two things that I know, it's I'm happy and grateful. Okay? I'm a very happy person overall. Do I get unhappy? Sure, I'm a human being. Do I take things for granted? Very seldom. Because I understand the process. Okay, when you understand that this is not magic, when you understand that this is a process that human beings or a power or an ability or how human beings are engineered, you begin to go, oh, okay, all right. And then you get it, then you understand. So you can write affirmations, right? Just affirmations alone, if you wanted to do that. It may take longer, okay? And the reason I say affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization is when you do all four directed at one thing, it has to happen. It has to happen. It cannot not happen. But let's say you were just doing affirmations alone. Okay, so if you're just doing affirmations, is that going to materialize into something? Yeah, sure. Sure. There's two types of action. One is mental action, and this is where most people fail. Okay? Mental focus. Why do they fail? Is it because something's wrong with them? No. It's because there's so many distractions out here. Jesus Christ said the kingdom is within, in here. You have to be strong in the kingdom. Let's say it another way. You have to focus in the kingdom. You have to understand the separation between body and spirit because you're in here. You're not your body, you're not your name, you're that energy that lives in here. That spirit that lives in here. You're a spiritual being having a physical experience. When you really understand how to separate the two, when you really understand the difference, You can project anything into being out here. So you have the conscious mind, okay? Let's break it down real easy for you to understand. Okay, new car. Okay, that's the idea that comes in the conscious mind. Okay, I desire a new car. Okay, this is not magic. This is subconscious. I desire a new car. Okay, that's the topic. That's the target. That's the goal. Now we write about it. I am so happy and grateful now that I have a new car. Thank you. And let's say that that's all you do. That's mental focus. You're not physically walking down to the car lot. You're not doing any of that at this point. Okay? Secondly, it goes into the subconscious. Now, what does the subconscious do? So let's say after 2 weeks, you start to get it. After 2 weeks of writing it every morning, speaking it out loud every night, in 2 weeks, you start to feel the shift, because you will. Okay? You start to feel the shift, then what happens? Then it starts to become a belief. Now, it won't complete the process until 66 days. It takes 66 days. Okay, fact check me, go look it up, go do your research. So let's say you reach the 66 days. Now it's a belief, a firm belief in your subconscious. Now what happens? Now the superconscious comes into play, or God. Okay, and because different people believe differently, we just say superconscious. But these are all three states of awareness in here, in the kingdom. It's not out there. It's not up there. Okay? God is not out there, up there. God is in here. God is in everyone. God is in you. So now what? Well, the superconscious starts giving intuitive thought to the subconscious, because God works off of what's in your subconscious. And now what? Well, the intuitive thought might be, hey, maybe I have that feeling that I should go down and test drive the car. Or I have a feeling I should go to the credit union and see if I can get a loan. Whatever that action is, you'll get intuitive thought on it. Margarita, good morning. How I forget the frustration about one day that I talk my husband, but he did not react with joy. Okay. Husbands do that sometimes. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Now, when you get inspired thought on anything, inspired thought, okay? Because you get inspired thought all the time, right? I always use that, analogy. You're driving down the street, you get inspired thought to make a right turn, you don't do it because you have free will. Because the left brain is logic, your right brain receives intuitive thought. And what happens? Well, you go down to the next light, you get stuck in a traffic jam, and what do you say? I knew I should have turned over there, because you did know. You did know. You knew, okay? And I'm here to say that if you trust intuitive thought more, it's your divine guidance. Divine guidance. The people that say, oh no, that's not a divine guidance, that's your imagination. Those are the people who are speaking with ego on the left. Because everything in the universe is energy. Quantum physics is proving this more and more. So when you get intuitive thought, follow the thought. Pay attention to what it's telling you to do. It's a feeling, okay? And then say you go down to the credit union and they go, oh yeah, sure. They approve your loan, you get the loan, you go down, you buy the car. One thing happens after the other, and in a few weeks, or let's say a couple of months, you have your new car. The only thing that you have to really be aware of, how to forget her frustration about her husband's response to her. It would be affirmations would help. Meditation would definitely help. So yeah, we get back to affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization again. So when you take the steps that you are guided to, okay, God is real. God is very real. But however you look at God, if you look at God as God, if you look at God as creator, if you look at God as universe, source, however you look at God. You know, and I know you have religious people that go, well, what God are you talking about? What they wanna classify it. This is not about religious dogma. I'm not here to influence you on how to believe. I'm here to educate you. I'm here to teach you how to get things easily. Okay? Sure, you have to have a job. You have to make money. Yeah, sure. Okay? But you want to have the right job. You want to have the right kind of job. See, people don't normally think beforehand. They just go. I need a job. I need to take this job. This is the first job I found. It pays money. I need to do this. But some people who are not selective, okay, end up suffering their whole lives. I actually know people, okay, with multiple degrees that are working because it makes money. So you cannot serve God and mammon, right? We know that. Christians know that. It's in the Bible. If you are serving money, you are doing something for the sake of money. That could be very painful. That could be very difficult. That could be very strenuous. The last person that told me this was an attorney. She said, well, I just did this because I didn't want to be poor. My whole career was driven out of fear. And she had some amazing accomplishments. And she said, this was all driven out of fear. And she was very fearful in here. We got rid of the fear. We got rid of it. She has a totally different understanding now. She's all good now. She's not struggling anymore. Sure, she has stress to deal with, but she has the switch now. She can turn it off. Meditation will give you that switch. And I'm not talking about chanting. I'm not talking about doing things you don't understand. I'm talking about being still in the kingdom. God is bigger than you understand. God is bigger than human understanding. If you don't believe me, go to a zoo. Go to a zoo, look at all the species and go, who had the imagination to think that up? Right? Okay. So it amazes me, okay, that we have, preachers, priests, religious leaders that stand at a pulpit every Sunday professing to know the will of all creation. It's very amusing. But God does not judge. So whatever you have in your subconscious, that's what's going to be amplified. Are you a bad person? Okay, that's going to be amplified. We're talking about negativity bias today. Is it negative? Is your subconscious going in circles with negativity? Are you having negative thoughts all the time? Are you having fearful thoughts all the time? Are you stuck in that negativity loop? A persistent negativity loop is what it's called. If you are, just know that God, superconscious, is working off of those subconscious beliefs. But you can change all of that. It's not difficult. It's a process, but not everybody's going to write an affirmation every day. And that's why my affirmations look crazy, right? It's like, whoa, uncle, You do that every day. That's crazy. That's obsessive. It's maintenance. But you have to understand this one. You have to understand the human being. The human being is more programmable than any computer. Your subconscious is like plastic, it's moldable. You're not a fixed system. Humans are susceptible to their environment. If you're in the wrong environment, trying to do the right thing, good luck. I've been in bad environments. I've lived in bad environments. I've lived on a sidewalk, on a street. At some point, you need to let go of this persistent negativity loop. Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. If you put my name into any browser, any AI, and you put teaching method, you'll get all of this information. So let's look at the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. The conscious mind is the logical gatekeeper. These are things that you're aware of, okay? But it's 5% of your life. 5%. Okay, if you're talking money, that's 5 cents out of 100. You see how small that is? So this is your reasoning, okay? Logic reasoning, decision making. You decide what you're going to put in your subconscious. And that decision is made through repetition. How often am I going to think this thought? So let's say I believe in God. Okay. But keep in mind that if you believe in God or if you don't believe in God, either way, you're a believer. Okay. So you say, okay, I'm going to believe in God. God is real. God is real. Now you start looking for evidence of it, right? Because it goes in your subconscious. Your subconscious looks for evidence. And it looks at all the things that are unexplainable, and it says, that's God. That's God working. It looks for good things, and it goes, that's God. That's God right there. That's God. What does the superconscious do? Well, the superconscious looks at your subconscious and goes, oh, okay, well, you believe in God. We'll show you more of those things. And it starts giving you intuitive thought. It starts opening doors in that direction. It starts bringing the right people into play. Like-minded people, people with the same mission, people with the same agenda. Although agenda is a pretty strong word. The conscious mind, in the role of negativity bias, notices negativity first because you need to be protected, because it's looking for threats. That's the way we're designed. Okay. We are hardwired, okay, built, designed to notice these things for our own good. You ever felt that everything is fine, but then in the back of your mind, there's something bugging you? Something's not right. Something's not right, right? Okay, so everything is okay. There's no problem. There's no threat. There's no anything like that. But something is nudging you inside going, you know, something's not right. Or, you know, when things are going good for too long, things are good, right? In the back of your mind, you're going, hey, there's something, I know something's up. Like something's up. This is too good to be true, right? Things are too good for too long, right? That's your negativity bias. But that's the conscious mind thinking those thoughts. You cannot think your way out of negativity bias with your conscious mind alone. Okay? You cannot. Logic alone cannot do it because this is automatic. It's deeper. It's a program in your subconscious. So look at it like a computer. Conscious, subconscious, superconscious. The conscious mind is your operating system. Your subconscious mind is the hard drive where the patterns are stored. The superconscious is the network we're all plugged into, okay? And God lives in here. We're all plugged into God. The only difference between believers and non-believers, or people that believe in God, people don't believe in God, people that don't believe in God are not acknowledging the divinity within them. They don't see it like that. Therefore, they don't take advantage of the things that are divine. They don't take full advantage of these things. You always hear these stories. You always hear these stories. People go, well, I found God and I found Jesus. And as soon as I found Jesus, my whole life turned around. And right? Because they started acknowledging the divinity within them. It doesn't matter, what faith you choose, how you choose to believe. You choose to believe the way you want to. But when you acknowledge the divinity within you, when you acknowledge the superconscious, something bigger than yourself, something higher than yourself, the connectivity that goes above you, okay, because we are the microcosm, the smaller version, of the macrocosm, the larger version, or God. Everything is energy in the universe, and everything energetic affects everything else energetic. So everything affects everything. But when you understand that there's this ability within you, when you understand there's this divinity within you, then you go, oh, I have the power to do this. I have the power to do that. I'm not insignificant. No, you're not. Nobody is. It's just what they choose to do. Some people choose to camp on the beach and fish. Some people choose to be in a log cabin all alone, away from society, and that's how they enjoy their life. James Taylor, a musician, once said he had this song and the lyrics went, "The secret to life is enjoying the passage of time." Because this is your time that you've been given. How are you going to pass the time? Yesterday I was with a client and I was explaining how achievements are just achievements at a certain point. And when I was younger, it was all about achieving. So I built my companies, I did all kinds of things, experienced all kinds of stuff. And after a while, it was wash, rinse, repeat. And then it was, the second brand new car and the third brand new car, the fourth, the fifth. It was just a car. But sometimes as human beings, we have that hole that needs to be filled. And sometimes there's not enough brand new cars. Sometimes there's, doesn't matter how expensive or how cheap it is or whatever it is, it's never enough. So there's two ways to wealth. The first way, okay, save up all your money, live small, right? Just scrimp by in life, but have a big bank account. That's one way. So you're living hard. You're punishing yourself by living a meager existence. You're here to experience abundance, and there's enough in the world for everyone. Okay? There are people controlling resources, and they control it for commerce, for business. There's enough for everyone. There's enough business for everyone. Have you any idea how many people come online every day and start businesses? And there's still enough for everyone. gold isn't going to run out. The earth makes more gold. The earth makes more silver. The earth makes more platinum. But at a certain point, when you discover, oh, I can have that, I can have that, I can have that. I used to walk into a mall and go, wow, I can buy anything in the mall. What am I going to buy? And in a couple of hours, I would walk out of the mall with nothing. I did that on my birthday this year. I was like, I don't really desire anything in here. And I walked around trying to figure it out. But this is the realization that you come to. So what is life all about for me? Life is all about helping other people achieve what they want. It's been that way for a long time. And I was explaining to my client that, okay, I could buy another house, it's just a house. I could buy another car, it's just a car. I could buy another guitar, it's just a guitar. I could buy another whatever, just it's still that. But when you help someone else, and the light bulb goes on, the switch goes on, they go, oh, we can do that. And you can do it within any system. The system doesn't matter. I see so many people, right, praising God, yet they don't have the knowledge. Because if they did, they wouldn't be poor. So many people preaching the gospel. I know people that preach the gospel. They're poor, they're unhealthy, they're sickly. So why would you be sickly if you have the secret to the kingdom? It's because you don't have the secret to the kingdom. It's because you're reading the story and you're being distracted, and then you're reiterating the story to others, and therefore that makes you a storyteller. I'm not here to tell stories. Jesus showed us the way. The kingdom is within. But you need to work in here, okay? Working out here, holding your Bible. I used to see people hold their Bible and scream at prostitutes on the street corner when I was younger. When prostitutes were on the street corner, now they're all in Instagram. And they thought they were doing a noble thing by condemning others on a street corner. Condemnation is not the way to salvation. Condemnation is not the way to anything other than negativity. You don't put out fire with fire. Okay? You quench these things with love. Now, this is not a judgment thing. This is not a morals thing, okay? I'm just saying that your energy, your default energy is love. You came into the world through love. You came into the world from love. So when you take off all the negativity, okay, so we learned this past week that negativity bias is dissolved or quieted down or diminished through love energy. And what is love energy? Well, love energy is when the negativity bias goes down. What's left? When you take away the negative, what's left? Only positivity. Okay. So if you don't have anything negative going on in here, if you're not preoccupied with overthinking, anxiety, all of that, then what? well, then there's only the positive left. There's only positive and negative. So your subconscious mind in all of this, in the negativity bias, is your emotional autopilot. Because your subconscious holds your memories, your emotional patterns. Okay, you have emotional patterns that you have set up through your subconscious, through your experiences. These are your reactions, the way you react to things. So when we talk about emotional intelligence, we're talking about controlling these or shaping these into better reactions, or sometimes limited reactions, sometimes non-reactions in your subconscious. Okay, your subconscious holds your belief system, everything you believe. Sometimes you don't know what you believe, right? Because it's in your subconscious. If I were to ask somebody to make a list of 100 things they believe, they wouldn't be able to write it down. Because something has to happen first. And then you pronounce the judgment, and then you go, oh, okay. That's how I feel about that. Now you can change it. And this is why you have to wait for something to happen to see how you feel about it, to address it. But all these conditioned reactions are in your subconscious. Thank you, M. Barara. Thank you. He said, you're right. Default energy is love. Yes, default energy is love. That's what I just said. You were born into love. You were born from love. I don't think anybody's born through hate. Although, right, illegal things happen and mistakes happen, and yeah, so it does happen. But yes, default energy is love. So what does the superconscious have to do with all of this? It transcends fear. Your superconscious does not know fear. God does not know fear. Fear is not of God. God is love. You know, you hear these people say, oh, God is a jealous God. They're not talking about the Creator. They're talking about a different God. When they talk about the fact that you have to fear God, yes, in certain terminology, fear means respect. But if you're talking about fear as in afraid, you're not talking about God. The God of the Old Testament of the Bible, that's not the Creator. That's a different discussion, but I'm just saying. God does not judge. We do. God will never judge you. You will do that all by yourself. It's what's in your subconscious. What do you believe? You are going to be punished by your beliefs, not by anything else. Because what you believe goes into your paradigm goes into your actions bring you results. That's your judgment. This is why they say intention is the most important thing. How do you mean what you're doing? Do you mean it in a bad way? Then you're going to receive bad back. If the intention is bad, how does that work? It works through your subconscious. There's no mystical, invisible judge out there. There is no out there. Everything is in here. Your simulation is in here. That matrix they talk about is in here. The only thing out there is nature and other things that came from someone else is in here. And I always say, if they can, you can. Go design something. Go build something. Go create something. You're a co-creator with God. God is in here. But there's a hypnosis out here. The same hypnosis that Jesus Christ was warning against. They look, but they do not see. They listen, but they do not hear. Because they're applying everything to the external physical world. There's a difference between physical and spiritual. There's a separation between the spiritual and physical. If you're looking out here, outside the kingdom, because you have eyes that face away from the kingdom, if you're looking out here, you cannot hear out here. You cannot see out here. You can only see in here. You can only hear in here. Because the kingdom is in here. Because God lives in here. How are you going to hear out there? It's just noise out there. It's an illusion out there. I see people talking about the Bible out there, but they're just reiterating a story without knowing the esoteric meaning. They're one book learners, and they keep the illusion going. Gautama Buddha said the man that sees life as an illusion, he's talking about externally, escapes the suffering. So when you know that all of this out here is man-made versus God-made, this is God-made. You are God-made. Everything out here is man-made. These are systems put in place for you, for us, for me. But when you begin to understand this, you go, oh, okay, well, that's just made by another man. That's just made by another woman. These are human constructs. Those are not divine constructs. That's the library. That's the cafeteria. That's the shopping mall. That's the car dealership. But they take on a sense of, they give us a sense of reality. It's our physical reality. It's not your spiritual reality. People are so distracted with the physical, they ignore the spiritual. They have no idea what goes on in here because they don't take time to sit in the kingdom and listen. Therefore, they cannot hear. They don't take time to sit in the kingdom. Therefore, they cannot see. Jesus was talking about that. Because if your eyes are always open, if you're always out here, your eyes are taking you into a different reality. And if you're always preoccupied with that, guess what? You're being taken away from the kingdom. Now you're living out here in the physical. Now you're living from your body instead of your spirit. Now you identify with the degree. I'm the doctor. I'm the businessman. Now you're identifying with the education. I'm the PhD holder. I have a PhD in, well, whatever. In my executive coaching, I deal with a lot of people with a lot of degrees. Brilliant people. Brilliant people. And they've been doing the left brain travel, the left brain process, consistently to get to where they are. Nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with that. But when I bring the right brain into play, so to speak, and awareness increases, and pretty soon they get it and they go, oh my God, I didn't know about this. That's because they don't teach it in college. It's not part of education. It's not part of conditioning. But this facade that you see out here, this physical construct, is an illusion. That's the illusion that Gautama Buddha was talking about. It's an illusion because reality is in here. This is something you participate in. This is what you are inside. All knowledge is within. You were born with infinite knowledge. All you have to do is be receptive enough to listen. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. But you seek in here, not out here. If you're seeking out here, you're going to find something from someone else's in here. You'll go to the library, you'll read some thoughts by some person that came before you. Then someone will come along and get a PhD and rewrite that, and then a few years later there's a different theme on the same subject, and okay, now we believe that it's this way. Then we believe it's that way. Then now it's back over here. After 30 years, it's back over here. Look at the textbooks in elementary schools. Very different from before. It's because everybody has an opinion. It's because everybody has a viewpoint. It's because if you seek something, you'll find it. If you're looking to modify something, all you have to do is think about it. If you think about it long enough, it will become reality. If enough people read it and they agree, it will become reality for them. But if you see the physical constructs as what they are, physical constructs, but you believe in here, then when you ask in here, it shall be given. Seek first the kingdom of God, and all else will be added unto you. It works. Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization, and prayer. The formula is ask, believe, receive. When you're praying, you're asking. When you're intending, you're asking. When you're wishing, you're asking. Believe in what you're asking. In other words, don't make it unreasonable. And remember that everything in life starts small and grows, okay? So instead of asking for $1 million, maybe start at 100, start at 50, start at 20. I started at $20. And when I started manifesting $20 at a time, I went to 50. And I just worked my way up. 100, 500, 1,000. I left off at 5,000 and I gave up. I was like, okay, what am I proving? It works. So I started writing affirmations for clients instead. If you're focused on money, money is all you're going to get. Don't focus on money. Focus on the things you love and the people you love. That's what matters. Because you'll have things you enjoy and you'll have people you enjoy. Life is about people. It's not about money. I know a lot of lonely people that only have money. And there's that hole there. Some of them because somebody died. Some of them because, love lost, whatever, heartbreak, whatever. And they keep trying to fill the hole because there's a lot of money, but there's no person there. Then it's just another car. Then it's just another thing. Then it's just another house. 10 houses make you happy? 12 houses make you happy? If you're not happy first, you're not going to be happy after 20 houses. It's not going to change anything. Take care, Sarah. Take care. Thank you. It works the opposite. We've been taught things in the opposite in society. It works the other way. Happiness attracts success, not the other way around. It's not like, okay, when I'm successful, I'm going to be happy. No, no. You be happy first. Success is guaranteed. You have to be happy first, then the house comes. You have to be happy first, then the marriage comes. You have to be happy first, then the love comes. Happiness is a choice. That's the good part, the good news. Happiness is a choice. You can choose to be happy. You just have to make that decision with the conscious mind. You know that 5%? Okay, use it wisely. 5%, that's all you got. Choose happiness. Happiness goes into the subconscious. It becomes a belief. The subconscious starts looking for things to be happy about. Now it shows you more things. The reticular activating system in your brain starts going, oh, you can be happy about that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. All the things to be happy about. It will filter out all the unhappy things, or the majority of them, not all of them. The superconscious will start giving you intuitive thoughts about happiness, about what makes you happy. And guess what happens? Now your life shifts from unhappy to happy. A lot of people think this is difficult. This is not difficult. Here's the 50 percentile. This is happy. This is unhappy. All you have to do is push this 1%. Now the majority of your life is happy. There you go. 51%. That's it. That's all you need. Okay? You've just had a fallout with someone you sincerely love. I believe she is the one for me. I need help. Message me. Message me. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you have to work that out within yourself. It's not about the person you love. It's about you. Okay, message me and I'll write to you about it. It's free. Don't worry. So yeah, there's no sales pitch or anything. I've come to another end of another live. There's no sales pitch. I'm not here to sell you anything. So yeah, but anyway, have a nice day, you guys, and we'll see you at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Okay, if you want to go to the website and see what I do, it's here for you, lifecoaching.com. If you want to see the reviews, we only get 5-star reviews ever since we've opened in 2010, and those reviews are on Google. Just search here for you, Life Coaching Honolulu. I'm in Honolulu, Hawaii. Okay.